The champagne glass slipped from Eliza's trembling hand, shattering across the marble floor of the five-star restaurant. Standing before her was Marcus Reed, the same man whose company had just acquired her family's struggling restaurant chain for pennies on the dollar, the same man who'd once promised to love her forever on graduation night 15 years ago before disappearing without explanation. Now he was staring at her name tag with dawning recognition, his billion-dollar empire built on the very culinary innovations her father had created but never patented. Eliza? Eliza Carter? Marcus whispered, his voice carrying across the silent dining room. The other waitstaff froze, watching the scene unfold. Eliza's job hung by a thread. She'd already received 2 warnings this month, and this broken glass would likely be her 3rd strike. Without this position, she couldn't afford her mother's cancer treatments. Yet all she could focus on was the man before her, whose abandoned promises had sent her life spiraling in a direction she never imagined, and who now controlled her family's last remaining asset without even knowing it. "I thought you were in Paris," he continued, reaching for her hand. "Your father told me." He stopped abruptly, noticing the faded burn scars trailing up her wrist, scars he didn't recognize. The restaurant manager was approaching now, his face tight with irritation. Eliza had exactly 30 seconds to decide: confront the man who broke her heart and now held her livelihood in his hands, or walk away and protect what little she had left. The manager's voice cut through the tension. "Ms. Carter, this is your final warning. One more incident and—" "It's my fault," Marcus interrupted, placing his platinum card on the table. "And Ms. Carter isn't serving me tonight. She's joining me for dinner." He turned to Eliza, his eyes pleading. "Please. Just 1 hour of your time. There's something you need to know about what happened 15 years ago." Eliza hesitated, then slowly untied her apron. What could possibly explain his disappearance the night they'd planned to leave for culinary school together? What right did he have to reappear now, when her life was in shambles? Yet something in his expression, a shadow of pain she'd never seen before, made her nod. 1 hour, she agreed, unaware that across the restaurant, a woman was watching them intently, her manicured fingers already dialing a number that would change everything. Over dinner, Marcus revealed the devastating truth: his father had threatened to destroy Eliza's family business if Marcus didn't break things off and join the family investment firm. "I chose what I thought would protect you," he explained, his voice breaking. "But I never stopped looking for you. When I finally tracked down your father last year, he told me you died in a kitchen fire in Paris." Eliza's fork clattered against her plate. "My father told you I was dead?" The pieces began falling into place: her father's insistence she take that apprenticeship abroad, his strange behavior when she'd returned with her injuries. "He must have been trying to protect me from you. He never forgave you for what happened to our family after you left." Marcus reached across the table, his fingers hovering above her scarred wrist. "What did happen, Eliza? Please, I need to know everything." Before she could answer, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number: "Don't trust him. The restaurant acquisition isn't what it seems. Meet me outside in 5 minutes if you want to save what's left of your family's legacy." Attached was a document showing Marcus's signature on papers dated 3 years ago, long before he claimed to have found her father. "I need some air," Eliza said suddenly, rising from the table. The choice before her was impossible: trust the man who had once shattered her world but still made her heart race, or meet a stranger with evidence that he was lying to her face. Either way, her family's future hung in the balance. Outside in the cool night air, Eliza found herself face to face with Sophia Reed, Marcus's sister and CFO of Reed Enterprises. "He doesn't know I'm here," Sophia said quietly. "But you need to understand what you're dealing with. My brother has been obsessed with finding you for years. When he discovered your family's recipes in an old cookbook you left behind, he built his entire empire on them." "That's impossible," Eliza whispered. "Those recipes were just experiments. Experiments that revolutionized molecular gastronomy, Sophia finished. Marcus didn't steal them to hurt you. He was trying to preserve the only piece of you he had left. But now that he's found you alive. She hesitated. The board wants to silence you. Permanently. I'm risking everything by warning you. Eliza's mind reeled. The recipes in that old notebook were worth billions? And Marcus had built his restaurant empire on her forgotten creations? Before she could process this revelation, she spotted Marcus exiting the restaurant, his expression darkening as he saw her with Sophia. What have you told her? He demanded, striding toward them. The truth, Sophia replied calmly. Something you should have done from the beginning. For a moment, the three stood in tense silence. Then Marcus did something unexpected. He pulled out his phone, tapped a few buttons, and turned the screen toward Eliza. I was going to show you this over dessert. I've already transferred controlling interest in Carter Culinary Innovations back to your family trust. It's been in the works for months, ever since I learned your father had fallen ill. Eliza stared at the document in disbelief. But why would you dash? Because they're your recipes, Eliza. They always were. Just kept them alive until I could find you again. His voice softened. I never stopped loving you. Not for a single day. Sophia cleared her throat. There's something else you should know, Marcus. The board meeting tomorrow, they're voting to remove you as CEO. They know about the transfer. Marcus's face hardened. Let them try. I built this company, I can build another. He turned to Eliza. Unless. Unless what? She asked, her heart pounding. Unless we combine forces. Your genius, my business acumen. We could create something extraordinary together, just like we always planned. He extended his hand. Partners? Eliza looked from the hand to the man offering it, the boy she'd once loved, now a stranger with familiar eyes. Could she trust him again? Could they rebuild what was broken 15 years ago? And what about her mother's medical bills, her own dreams deferred? 6 months later, Eliza stood in the gleaming kitchen of Second Chances, the flagship restaurant of their new joint venture. The grand opening was minutes away, with food critics and investors gathered outside. Marcus appeared beside her, sliding a small velvet box across the counter. I'm not proposing, he said quickly, seeing her startled expression. Not yet, anyway. But I wanted you to have this before we open the doors. Inside was a tarnished key, the key to their old culinary school apartment, the one they never shared. I kept it all these years, he explained. A reminder of the future we were supposed to have. Eliza closed her fingers around the key, tears threatening. The past 6 months had been a whirlwind of legal battles, recipe development, and rebuilding trust, one careful step at a time. Her mother's treatments were working, her father had reluctantly joined their venture as head chef, and Sophia had become an unexpected ally in navigating the corporate world. We should get out there, Eliza said, tucking the key into her pocket. They're waiting for us. As they walked toward the dining room, Marcus caught her hand. Whatever happens tonight, whether they love us or hate us, I want you to know that finding you again was worth everything. Every risk, every sacrifice. Eliza squeezed his hand in return. We're just getting started, she promised. And as they pushed through the doors together to thunderous applause, she realized that sometimes life's most beautiful recipes required the bitterest ingredients and the longest wait.